Alright, so this is my review of the T-Drones smart.x. This is the style B. So yeah, that's the style there. We've got the, I guess this is generally called a frog style frame, where you've got the front wide and the back kind of a narrowish pattern. So let's look at this a little bit closer in a little bit more detail so you know exactly what you're looking at, what you're going to be getting. So here we are. We've got a lot of screws here that need to be put in. We want to use some blue Loctite. These are a M2, so a metric 2 screw head that you'll want to get. Make sure you have that. It does not come along in the goodie pack that they send you, which by the way has a lot of 3M double-side sticky, a piece of Velcro, and a bunch of cable ties, and a Velcro battery strap, along with your hardware or the screws to put it all together. But yeah, that was the one thing that I found was odd. They included all these extras here, but they didn't include a wrench or a metric Allen key in order to put these things together. So yeah, so this is what you get when you order the T-Drones smart.x, and I ordered mine with the power. So this is an Air 200 system, and so yeah, so we can look at this a little bit here in detail. Let's look at the frame first, and then we'll go into the power system, power distribution system. So you got a top and a bottom board. Those two boards are made out of a standard FR4 material. This would be what you get on PCB boards, only it's fairly thin. I would call that about 1 millimeter in thickness. So, but I think the way it's designed, with the screws on top and screws on bottom, it tightens everything down just enough to make it nice and tight, but yet not too tight that it's very rigid. So I think it will give it a nice overall strength to it. Anxious to see how it flies and see what a good crash will do to it. Personally, the way it looks, my just thoughts on it is I think it will hold up fairly well. Just looking at how it's made. The arms are it feels like a plastic. I can't quite tell. It feels very rigid, very firm, very hard. So I don't think that those will give away in a crash. I think the whole thing will just sort of bounce and roll as a whole. So looking over, you've got little side standoffs. They add to strengthen the system, and allow you to connect on the landing gear, which uses here. There are 4 specially longer bolts for that, and the landing gear, you can see there is some flex and some give to it, so I don't think you'll be snapping that off. Then again, I'm not sure how useful it will be, but hey, it adds to the look of it. So the bottom board here is actually a power distribution board. I've got the top on here, so we'll take a look inside. You can see in there you've got plus and minus wires, which I've got soldered up right now. You've got 2 for each. You got a plus and minus for each arm, and then you've got a plus and a minus in the back for the batteries. The instructions that came with are rather vague in how they tell you to hook everything up. Mainly they just say here, put the ESC wires there and screw it all together. That's about the extent of the instructions. So finding your own layout for where the battery fits best, where your rest of your electronics will fit, is going to be up to you. Adding a camera to this, FPV, so you can fly FPV, will probably be some of it a trick. I think I'm going to be using those and probably mount the camera below the frame. There's not much room in between, and getting any good angle on that your top frame will block out a lot of your view, I think, if you want to keep it behind the the frame in order to protect the camera. So yeah, that's just some things to look at. The other thing is you could mount it on top. Could do that. I don't know. I may end up doing that actually instead of mounting it on the bottom. So that's what we're looking at here. I'll show you some more videos then later after I've gotten the electronics on it, and we'll see how it all works out then. I won't be going FPV with this quad at this time. Maybe a little bit later on I will, but I think I'm just going to run line of sight with this just to get an idea of how quadcopter flying works. So yeah, this is my first build, and so far it's turning out well. So here we got the electronics here. We've got an Air 15 amp. This is with the T motors or Tiger motors. They're that brand. So T drones and T motors are together, and they have produced this drone and included these electronics on it if you'd like. You can see this is a 600 hertz ESC, 15 amps. It is only rated for a 2 to 3S, so probably won't be racing too much with this quad since you can't go up to 4S, and it also doesn't have a back. So you want to go with a more modern flight controller, say something with a F4 or F3 microcontroller on it. The CC3D or the NAS 32, you're going to need a external UBEC in order to power it. Also here we have a second set of wires. This is for the lighting off of each foot. We've got green and red ones. So you can choose if you want the red in the front, green in the front, however you want to do it. I decided to go with red in the front just because I thought I would be able to see that a little bit better in the daylight, but who knows. So then we'll look at here at the motors, and let me flip it around. Looking at the motors, each one is very consistent windings inside. You can see that looks nice. It's pretty free. The bearings feel good. I don't feel any issues there. They're not loose or anything like that. This is the Air 220, so this is a 2205 by 2000 kV motors. So they're on the faster side, but not the fastest. So this drone will be, well, it'll be more of a cruiser drone than a racer. One thing I do note is you do have some areas of the motor that is extending over the edge of the arm frame, and that could be an issue if you run into a tree or something like that. You don't have any protection for your motors. The end is fairly good. You have some nice end protection there for your motor. Now each motor has a integrated threading on it. You can see that there, and you have specially designed right and left-handed motors. So make sure when you put it together that you put the left and the right in the right locations, and make sure you get the colors in the right locations. So each prop comes along with a set of props, which I'm told we'll need to get a couple extras, but so far the first set of props, you have a little white notifications here, sticker, paint, whatever, and that is the left-handed prop, and that just spins on easily if I spin it the right direction, and so that should lock down on that blade and should fly without problem. The one on the right has no white on there, and you can, it will go on no issue, and it too will lock down and should fly with no issue. Only issue I see with this is the fact that we've got directional screws on the motors. So when I break these props, either I'm going to have to go get another set of T-motor props, or if I go with a gem fan or HQ props, I'm going to have to get some sort of a nylock and put that on top of there in order to hold everything together. Diameter size, I'm not sure what that is in order to get the correct size shaft. But this is a 6.5 by 3.5 6.5 inch prop with a 3.5 inch thread or screw. You know, the measuring. So it should give me some decent lift. Shouldn't be too high. I do know that these blades do not like going 4S. That's just too fast for them, and they do start to wobble and induce a lot of shake into the system. I've seen that with other reviews, so make sure you got that. Make sure you check that out if you are going to be upgrading your ESCs in the future. Just keep that in mind, that you'll want to upgrade your propellers as well. So yeah, so this is the T-drone. This is my kind of in-depth parts review. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to show you. You can see down in here, you can see that there are brass fittings down inside of the arms where the bolts go through. So you're not screwing into plastic there, you're screwing into metal, which will give you a much stronger connection, which is good, because then you don't have to worry about stripping out the threads and whatnot. So yeah, okay, now that that's done, this is the T-drone's smart.x. This is the Type B. So give it a shot, check it out, check out my future videos. I'll keep everything in a set of playlists so you can follow all my drone activities right there. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you've tried the T-drone smart.x, let me know what you think. Give me some pointers, some tips, so that I know how to lay everything out electronics wise. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to find out yeah, if there's any other hints or tricks you can give for me. So yeah, thanks, like the video, and subscribe.